Creating those UGC style ads is never been easier with this automation. You just provide your product link, the number of videos that you want, and a simple video idea. Then you just click on execute workflow and the system will give you back the Sora 2 UGC ads that you can use for your brand, TikTok shop, or even affiliate marketing, just like this one.
Okay, so I grabbed this True Skin Serum after seeing it everywhere. I use it a couple nights a week and wow, my skin looks so much brighter now. It's there.
Look at the gold star across the waist and this little mesh cutout running all the way up. It's so good. The sleeves, the fit.
Okay, say goodbye to cold coffee because this next mug actually keeps it steaming for hours. Plus, it's 50% off on TikTok Shop today.
Also, it's 40 off for a flash sale on TikTok Shop.
Hello everyone, if you don't know me, my name is Ken. I've made over 6 figures on crypto before taking on AI, and now I make automations that cut work, boost sales, and grow your brand. In this video, I'll show you how to create this automation using Sora 2 API that creates UGC style ads on Autopilot. Let's get started. This is how the workflow looks like as a whole. We start with the input section, where if we go in the brief node, we can see that we have this kind of fields to fill. We have a Google Drive link reference image. This is the link of the product we want to include in the video. Then we have a field of how many videos we want for the product UGC style. Then we have a video idea, which we say to the system what kind of video do we want for this UGC ad. For this example, I've typed in TikTok video, prompting next mug, and maybe you can include some dialogue for it to include in the video. For example, I've said say goodbye to cold coffee. It's 50% off today at TikTok shop, because this ad will be used for TikTok shop. Then I have laid out some full details about the product. I have found these details inside the Amazon shop. You can just go inside of here and get some details to copy paste inside your workflow. This will help the system know what the product is like and what points to include in the video. Then we have an aspect ratio. We have two options here, landscape and portrait. Portrait is like the vertical aspect you have on your phone, and the landscape is like your PC. Then I have created this master prompt because it gives the system a layout of how the prompt should look like when we create a video. So I'd not recommend changing this at first, so you can test things out, but after you understand what I've written in here, you can change things out to your liking. That is all about this node. You can think of this node as a simple software which you can write information about your UGC style ad, and then the system will do the rest of the work. That is all the work you have to do about this system manually, because everything else will be done automatically for you. Let's have a look at this analyze image node, which I'll go in detail very soon, but all this does is just analyzes the image that you have provided. So when we have it in the video, it's the same product that you have provided in the picture. Then we move on to the create section. This is the part where we have this AI agent right here, which we have given some instructions to create those perfect prompts for us, to create those master prompts for us, so we can insert them in the create video node. That way the video will be in perfect format for UGC style ads. After that, we move on to the create video section. This is where we insert the information of what the video should look like, what would be the product displayed in the video, what will be the prompts, and the aspect ratio. Once that is in process, then we have a waiting node right here, which we use to wait before the process is done so we can move on to the next steps. This is necessary when we do these automations, because if we don't do this, then we will have an error when we get the video, because the videos will not be processed in time. That's why we negate that issue by providing a waiting node. Then we get the video through this node and we have a check if the video is done or not. After that, we move on to the output section, which we download and get the video back. When we download the video to the n8n workflow, we then upload it to our Google Drive account. And that's basically how this automation works. You just enter the information from the start right here and then just execute this workflow. Everything else will be done on Autopilot. Let's go now on detail of how each node looks like inside, so you can create it for yourself. We start this automation by having an execute workflow trigger. This is done so you can have this button right here to execute the workflow manually. We then continue with the edit fields node, which for mode we have on manual mapping, so we can decide what fields to use. Then we create a G Drive link reference image and put it on type string. Now I have already provided my link, but if you want to do that also, just go to your Google Drive, create a new folder so you can get organized easier. I have named it Sora 2 UGC products. Then upload the image of your product inside. Click on these three dots right here. Go to share, again on share. And make sure this general access is from restricted to anyone with a link. Then you copy this link, go to the workflow again and paste it inside of this. Then we go to this how many videos field, where we provide the number of videos that we want from this product image. I will make it a 2 for this example. Then we create another field where we have the video idea. It should also be in string, and inside you can provide your video idea, what kind of idea you have for this video. You can provide the dialogue, what the script should be inside the video, and for what platform this video should be for. For example, I've said TikTok shop, but you can say Amazon affiliate, your brand's name, name or whatever you want. Then I have just provided a full detail of the product, a short one, but you can go to the page of your product and you can provide all of this, because that makes the prompt even smarter and knows your product to a T. Let's move out of this and go to the next field, which is the aspect ratio. We now have two aspect ratios right here. We have a portrait and a landscape. These are the only two aspect ratios that Sora 2 API uses. I made it to portrait right here so we can post it on our social medias. Then I have created a master prompt field for this automation. Think of it as a blueprint that the AI agent will use to create those prompts for us. You can screenshot this to paste it into your own system. And that's all for this edit fields node. Now we execute this step. Let's pin it so we don't lose this and move on to the next one. We now need a node that analyzes the image that we provided as accurately as possible, so when it's displayed in the video, your product looks the same as in the photos. You search for an OpenAI analyze image node and this will pop up. Now you have to connect your credentials before moving on. You can click on these credentials to connect with and click on create new credential. To get your API key right here, you just have to go to the platform.openai.com, just like so. Create an account there if you haven't already. Click on this settings button and on the left you see these API keys. Once you go to this section, you just click on create new secret key and you will get your API key from here. You just copy your API key and paste it inside this field right here in the credentials part. Once you do that, just click on save. Also make sure you have some credits into your account. Put like $5 inside. That would be more than enough for hundreds of prompts. For the resource, you just select on image and the operation click on analyze image. Inside the model, I found that ChatGPT 4.0 latest is the best model that best describes your product. Then we go to this text output and provide this exact same expression. Please screenshot this so you can paste it into your own system. This is optimized so it can be understood by the agents very well. Once we do that, we go to input type and say image URLs. And for the URL, I have provided this exact same expression because n8n doesn't read the Google Drive links directly. You have to do it in this format. Just provide this exact same expression into your own system also. All is left is to execute this step now. When the node is executed successfully, we should see this content variable right here, which contains our product description. That's all for the input section. Now let's move on to the create prompt section. Search for AI agent node, click on the plus icon and just search for AI agent. This is the node which we have right here. Now inside you click on the source for prompt and say define below. And when we go inside the prompt, we have this right here. This is the prompt we provide to the AI agent. It's just the same as providing this prompt to ChatGPT. Here's how it looks like. We have a task to create an image and video prompt created by our system guidelines. Here are the instructions. We have a task right here to create an image and video prompts as guided by our system guidelines. We say to the agent to make sure that the image is depicted as accurately as possible, especially for the text, because that's the most important part. To have an accurate image is the text part of the product. And then we provide a number of ideas about this main topic. To get this code right here, you just go to this brief variable node we had before and just drag and drop this how many videos variable. Just like so. The system will read this code and provide the same output you inserted inside of here. In this case it's number 2. Then this other JSON code right here is the video idea variable which we provided before. It's the same, you just drag and drop this and the system will read the information you have provided in that node. Then we say to the agent the aspect ratio that you want, which is portrait. It's the same, we got this information from this brief node right here. Now this part is important because we provide the agent with the blueprint prompt, basically the master prompt. This is how the output it will give us should look like. It's the same, you just drag and drop this master prompt from the brief node into the expression right here. Then we say to the agent if provided, here's the image reference URL and is the product URL image we provided before. Below that we say to the agent here's the description of the image reference if it's provided. Now this description comes from this analyze image node we had on previously and is from this content variable. Just drag and drop this and it will produce the same output. And on the bottom we say to use this think tool to double check our output. I'll explain it very soon what this does. And that's all for this prompt we give to the AI agent. We now move on to the system image, which this is a long one because we have to say to the agent how the output should look like, what are the rules it must follow, what is the style of video that we want, the model of the video it should be using, and some other requirements and guidelines. I'll go over this very briefly so you can copy paste it inside your system. Now let's explain briefly what is inside of this system message field. This is what the system prompt should be like, a UGC style Sora 2 prompt generator. This is basically the mission in life we are giving to this agent. As we say right here, you are a UGC AI agent. UGC stands for user generated content if you don't know. Your task is to take the reference image or the product in the reference image and place it into a realistic casual scene as if captured by everyday content creators or influencers. Everything should be natural, polished, and this is all basically some information to explain to the agent how this UGC style videos should look like. Then we have some rules about JSON output. So the output it gives us is JSON safe because these APIs use JSON code and not natural language. And everything else includes the nodes, the model that it should use, and everything else to keep in mind before creating our output. Before we go out of this, please toggle this on, the required specific output format, because this should be used later. I will explain it why. Now we have 4 different things that we have to connect to this agent. The brain, the memory, which will be used to double check everything, and the output parser. First we connect the agent to this OpenAI chat model. You should see a plus icon right here below the chat model. Click on it and this field should open up. You should just connect your credentials. Since we connected it in the previous node, the analyze image one, you should have this ready. So the only thing to change is this model. Now I have selected this ChatGPT 4.1 because I found that using this chat model makes the agent provide us a correct output every time. If we use a cheaper model, the output might be with errors because it cannot follow the exact same instructions we have given them. Once you select this model, then we move on to this next step. We now have to connect a memory to our AI agent. Click on this plus icon right here, you should have it. And for the node, select simple memory, and this one should pop up. For the session ID, click on define below, and inside the key just enter a 4 random number. This is the key needed for the system to store this session ID. And for the context window we say 10. What this is basically the agent remembers the past 10 prompts and it doesn't give you the same prompt over and over again. This way all 10 of them will have different dialogues or scenes. That's all for this simple memory. Then go to this tool right here, you should have a plus icon again, and search for think tool. Inside the think tool this should be already filled out and you don't have to enter anything. But what this does is that it gives the agent the ability to double check every information it gives you before sending it to you. So if for the first time if the agent wanted to send you a prompt, this tool makes sure that the agent goes over it again and gives you the right output when it gives it to you. And this just minimizes the errors of this workflow. And then for this last output parser right here, if you don't have it, just toggle this on. And you should see the output parser plus icon right here. Click on it and you should select on structured output parser. When you go inside of it, you have to select this schema type, which is generated from JSON example, and you have to provide this exact same prompt right here. Make sure this is the same one I'm using, because otherwise this will not work out. Then just make sure you toggle this auto fix format, and this plus icon will pop up in the bottom, which should say model. You should see a plus icon, just drag and drop it into the chat model that we have already for the agent. They both can use the same chat model. Once you did all those steps, you can finally execute this node. Since we have completed the field to 2 number of videos, the agent will give us back 2 different prompts. Just like so. As we can see here, we have a scene 0. 0 it just means 1 in code, because if you are a developer you know this very well, that most of the numbers start at 0. And we have this other scene right here. You then connect this agent to a split out node. Select on this plus icon right here, split out. This node should come out. And when you go inside, this field will be empty, and for this include, don't include anything. Now what this node does is that it split these scenes into individual variables. So if you can see now, it is one item right here. You see that arrow? It says one item from the AI agent to the split out node. When you have one item, it means when we create those videos, it will create only one video and it will not use this second scene right here. So we have to split them and give them each a separate variable. For these fields to split out, you just drag and drop these scenes right here. Just drag and drop it and the same output will show up. Now I've already done this, so I can remove it and execute this step. If you see closely right here, we see two items. Now we have separated those prompts that the AI agent gave us into two different variables. That is all for the create prompt section. Now we move on to the create video section. For this create video section, we have a create video node. You can find this by clicking on this plus icon and searching for HTTP request. Now this is what this node should look like. For the method, we have it on post because we are posting a request and not getting one. For the URL should be this exact same one as per key.ai documentation. For the authentication right here, you should have it on generic credential type, then you put header authentication, and for the header authentication you have to connect your credentials. If you click on it, you should see this screen where we have a name and a value right here. Now for the name, you should have this exact same one. You should name this authorization with a capital A, and for the value, click on expression right here, remove this if you have any, and type bearer space and then paste your API key. Now the way you get this API key, you just go to key.ai, create an account inside of here. Now click on explore AI API, and on the left you should see this API key section. If you click on this, then you can see this button create API key. That's how you create your API key inside of this. But make sure you have some credits also inside of here. Put like $5 minimum, even though these videos cost about 15 to 20 cents per video. So it's very cheap to create these videos comparing to paying an influencer to create this. And you just paste this API key that you got into the value. And make sure to save it before you click out. But make sure to toggle on only this send body right here. For the body content type, make sure it's JSON, and specify body to using JSON. Now what we have right here, this is a JSON code which is from key.ai documentation to use Sora 2 image to video model because we are providing an image to this system. For the prompt, we have the prompt that the AI agent created for us. As you can see on the left, on the split out node, we have this video prompt right here. Inside of this prompt, just drag and drop this video prompt right here from the previous split out node. And this should be the output. Now be careful here because you can just provide your image URL from the link you have entered in the first edit fields node. Just like this one, you can't provide this because JSON doesn't read this kind of format, so you have to do this exact same code. Make sure up until this ID and equal part is the same, and for this JSON expression, screenshot this and paste it to ChatGPT to give you this exact same output, because otherwise it will not work. All this does is gets the Google Drive ID from the reference image we provided. For the aspect ratio, we have on portrait. Now this is hard coded, but I recommend removing this and just drag and drop the aspect ratio from the edit fields we had in the first node. This way it will be dynamic every time we change it, because now it's stuck on portrait. And for the remove watermark, just leave this as true. This way we don't have those Sora 2 watermark above our videos. And click out of this. Once that is done, you just click on execute step and the system will create two videos with the prompts AI agent gave it. Let's execute this. If you see a code 200 right here, which we see 2 times, then we know the process of creating these videos has already begun. To continue further, you have now to connect this node to a wait node. The purpose of this wait node right here is just to make this automation fully on autopilot, so we don't have any errors. Because these videos should take about 260 seconds, because I have checked this time and it was the average one of how much time it takes to create one of these videos. And after 260 seconds, this node will complete and we move on to these next steps. But otherwise, if you don't have this, the system will produce an error because the videos will not be done. I'll put it to 1 for this example so we can move on to the next node. Execute it, and after you do that, we connect this wait node to this HTTP request node. For this method, we should have it on get now because we are getting a video and not posting a request to create one. For the URL should be this exact same one per documentation. For the authentication, generic, header authentication, and the credentials you have already connected from the previous node. Toggle the send query parameters this time and specify these query parameters using fields below. And for the name, you have to put task ID with a capital I. And for the value, you just go to this previous node which is on the left and drag and drop this task ID right here. Just drag and drop it inside the value field. It should produce this exact same output. and all is left is to execute this step. But before doing it, I can go on key.ai and check for myself if the videos are finished. Go to this log section on the left and search for the market. I have pinned it, so I should on the left side. And as we can see, we have the videos already done for us. Let's move on to the workflow to get these videos. Once we check those videos are done, we click on execute step. Now for this next node, we don't go directly to download video, because sometimes the system is filled with requests and it might take longer than 260 seconds. So if we don't do this step right here, the system will produce an error. That's why we go to this plus icon and search for if, and this if node should come out. When you go inside of this, you have to provide this information. Drag and drop this state from the get video node inside of this conditions value. In the middle box, click on it, go to string and search for is equal to. This now compares this state condition to this value we will enter right here, which I've entered success. As we can see on the left, the state is already success, but if it wasn't success, it should say in progress, generating or fail. And in all those scenarios, other than success, we connect this node again to this previous wait node. This way the system will not be interrupted and be executed once more. And most likely after this second run, the videos will be finished and we can move on to this next download video node. Now to do this connection, you should see a plus icon on the false right here. Just drag and drop it behind the wait node. And for this true right here, just leave it as it is for now. But that's all this if node does and is very useful in this automation to make everything run smoothly and on autopilot. All is left to do is click on this plus icon on the true right next to if node and search for HTTP request once more. For the method, we should put it on get. If you don't see any input on the left, just click on the execute previous node. So the if node is executed. And now make sure this URL is this exact same one, because the system doesn't recognize the URLs from the key.ai output. If you go and look inside of it, it says results watermark URLs parentheses and then it gives the URL. We don't want all of this, we just need this URL. So I've created this code that only takes the URL from the previous node. Leave everything else as it is, authentication none, and leave this all off. And once you execute this, you should see this kind of outputs. Now we can leave this as it is, but I don't recommend it, because if you change any fields, this information will be lost, and then you should go manually to key.ai to find these videos again. So to prevent that, we upload them to our Google Drive folder. To do that, click on the plus icon right next to this HTTP node we created, which I've named already download video, and search for Google Drive. Inside of that section, you should search for upload file, because this is the action that we will be using. Of course, we have to connect our credentials first. Click on create credential. And to fill this information out, I recommend just asking the assistant. It will give you some step-by-step instructions. It will take about 2 minutes to follow, and you should complete these fields right here: client ID and the client secret. Once you connected your credentials, for the resource, leave it to file, operation upload, and the input data field name, you just name this data, because this is the name n8n gives these downloaded videos by default. For the field name, now I've entered here the task IDs, which you can find by clicking on schema and going to this task ID right here and drag and drop it. So every file should have their task ID as a name. For the next part right here, click on my drive. In this parent folder right here, I recommend creating a folder inside of your Google Drive, just like I have, so you can select it inside this workflow, and every video that will be uploaded inside this folder. This way you will be more organized. Select your folder and just click on execute step. This was the last step, and now the videos should be on your Google Drive. As we can see, are right here. Let's download them and see them together. Let's see the first one.
Okay, say goodbye to cold coffee because this next mug actually keeps it steaming for hours. Plus, it's 50% off on TikTok Shop today. Yeah, that's still piping.
What can I say? These videos are becoming more and more realistic by the day. I'm sure in less than 1 or 2 years, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between a real person making these videos and the AI video. Let's check out the second one.
Okay, say goodbye to cold coffee because this next mug actually keeps it steaming for hours. Plus, it's 50% off on TikTok Shop today.
I'm sure in 1 or 2 years, nobody will be able to tell the difference between an AI video and a real person one. That's why I recommend learning these systems and how these automations work so you can thrive in the near future when these skills are in more demand than ever. As you can see on Google Trends, already the AI agent and AI automation demands are rising super fast, so learning these skills will be very profitable for you. Every business and brand will need someone that creates this kind of automations and understand them. And I'm sure, and with the demand rising, the pay will also too. So investing some time today to learn this increasingly important AI skill will pay you off big time. That was all for this AI automation workflow. Now you can create those UGC style ads using Sora 2 on Autopilot. If you want this full workflow, you can also find it inside my community, the AI Syndicate, which I will provide it inside my classroom, as I have provided every other template I have made inside my channel. Other than that, you will have also direct access to me, so you can message me for everything AI related, or if any workflow breaks, or if you need help with something. I respond to all my messages and can help out for each question you might have. I'll leave a link of it inside my description below if you're interested in this kind of stuff. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, comment if you have any questions about this workflow, and I'll see you guys on the next one.